These are a few of my favorite things. Hello everyone, welcome back to A Fictional Escapist. My name is Kris, and today's video is the favorite things book tag. I apologize for the intro, but ever since I watched this book tag, it's been in my head, and it's been weeks. Send help. Before we jump into the tag today, make sure you're checking out the description box down below for links to my Discord and social media, should you want to come along for the ride. Now, the favorite things book tag is an oldie but a goodie. It is a good way to get introduced to someone and find out a little bit more about them. I saw this one recently over on Usman's channel, over at Bards and Books channel, and video will be linked in the description box down below. I've had a few people come onto the channel recently. We've just hit 500 subscribers, which is awesome. Thank you all so much. But I thought it would be a good time to jump into a tag that lets you get to know me a little bit better. And for people who have been here for the year that I've been on BookTube, then you'll get to learn maybe something new, or maybe you already know it and you're bored by watching this video and you can just click away. But we'll jump into the tag. We have got 15 prompts for this tag. I watched Usman's video. I only have the memory of what these questions are or what these prompts are, so we're jumping into it blind. Let's start with number one. Number one is favorite musician or band. I have such an eclectic music taste. I will listen to everything and anything. Music is quite inspiring for me. When I think about writing, I think about writing scenes to particular songs that I've listened to, or I can visualize something happening to a particular song. For that reason, I'm going to say Lindsay Stirling, who is I would say classic / pop fusion artist. She works with strings a lot. If you don't know who that is, I'll put a photo of my favorite album of Lindsay Stirling's up the top here. It was called Artemis, and I basically penned out a NA sci-fi-esque trilogy, which was an homage to my own transition to this album. And I've not written it, obviously, it's not out there, but the story is still very much in my head. It's outlined, and this particular album inspired me so much. As a secondary to that, maybe a comfort band that I tend to go towards would be someone like Red Hot Chili Peppers or Matchbox 20. So if I'm feeling like I just need to jam out and have a good sing, I'll normally put on something by Rob Thomas, so Matchbox 20 or either Matchbox 20 or Rob Thomas's solo albums. I know most of the songs. I will just belt out most of the songs if I need a good sing, and Red Hot Chili Peppers is fairly nostalgic for me just from my dad's side and growing up listening to his music. Prompt number 2 is top 3 favorite films. I do not watch a whole lot of movies, to be completely honest with you. I have a short attention span. They just don't grip me very much, so I don't really have a favorite 3 movies. I can't even think of 3 movies that I would say that, you know, I would go back and watch. I also don't like repetition, so I don't really rewatch anything. So I'm going to cheat a little bit for this question, and I'm going to go with 3 things that I have rewatched out of pure comfort. When I first started questioning my sexuality, I was probably about 14, and I'd gotten into Charmed at that point, and it was a way to escape my brain and dim that noise, that white noise, a little bit, and that is a show that is still very nostalgic for me. I will occasionally go and watch the whole thing again, and I also have like commitment issues when it comes to television shows, and I just never finish the last season. I'll get to like the second last season and just refuse to watch the last one, and that is a show that I have actually finished. I didn't like the 8th season or the 7th season. It peaked at 6, alright, in my opinion. But yeah, that is a show that I've gone back and watched. The next one is going to be Will and Grace, the 90s / early 2000s version of the show, not the new one. Anytime I feel depressed, because I do have depression, but it comes and it goes. If I ever feel really shitty for some reason, that tends to be the show that brings me the most comfort. And I have recently... So I didn't watch it for a long time. Since getting together with my wife, I didn't watch it because I didn't need to. And then she said, would you mind sharing it with me? So we actually watched all of I think it's 8 seasons, all 8 seasons together of that show. And it was a really nice experience. So rather than watching it when I felt shitty, I got to watch it with my wife and make new memories of that show, which was something quite special. And the third one is going to actually be a film, and that is Atomic Blonde, which stars Charlize Theron. I don't know who the director was. And that film I watched when I broke up with my ex a lot. I couldn't sleep. It was an 8-year relationship. It was fairly toxic, and I had wanted to get out for a couple of years, and I'd finally bit the bullet and just said I'd had enough. But I couldn't sleep after that event for a long time. I'd moved back in with my parents while she got her stuff out of the house that we'd shared, and Atomic Blonde, it's only one of the only times that I have sat down, watched something, started it again, and I went through a cycle. So it was Jim and Charlize Theron getting me through that time of my life. So while I don't have favorites, I do have things that I gravitate towards if I need to. Number 3 is my favorite scent. This is going to be real cheesy, but my wife. People have smells, and yesterday I was playing around with something on the desk while I was in a meeting for work, and I got a whiff of how she smells. And I just got so nostalgic for our life together and the future life that, I hope that we have. And that is my favorite smell on the planet, is just her. It's so comforting. It fills me with, all the feelings. And yeah, I don't know. I like my wife's smell, I guess. Number 4 is your favorite Disney film. I have watched a fair few Disney films. We've got kids in our lives. Not our own, but various children, friends, and family. And growing up, I grew up in peak Disney season. But my favorite Disney film, I don't even know if Emperor's New Groove is a Disney film. I do not know, but that's definitely up there for top animated film. Disney film. I watched the hell out of Lion King 2 when I was 6 or 7. I was so obsessed with Kovu. That's probably going to be my answer for that one. And I just wouldn't stop singing the songs, to the point my parents were like, please, watch anything else. I cannot do this anymore. So those two, I guess. If Emperor's New Groove isn't a Disney film, then Lion King 2. Question number 5, or prompt number 5, is favourite season. So I live in Australia. It's basically just hot all year round, and there's a couple of months where it goes below 24 degrees Celsius and everyone freaks out and wears jumpers. It's really funny when you see people wearing snow jackets in Queensland because it's under 24 degrees and we just can't cope. I would say the middle to end of autumn, when it starts to get a bit cooler. Actually, no, I'm going to change my answer because I hate the short days. I get seasonal depression in winter because the days are shorter and I just like sunshine. So I'm going to say spring. So as we come out of winter and into the start of spring, we start seeing those beautiful blue crisp days. Early in the morning, those walks are so beautiful, where they're just blue, they're cool, but it's still t-shirt weather. There's new life everywhere on the trees, and it's just a wonderful time of year, unless you have hay fever, in which case I can imagine that is not your favourite time of year. Prompt number 6. Did I skip one? No. Maybe I just said the same number twice. Prompt number 6 is favourite seasonal drink. I am a big fan of cinnamon in things. Fun story, I'm allergic to artificial cinnamon, so it has to be real cinnamon in items of anything. So Christmas coffees, even though it doesn't get cold here, we still get and peppermint. We still get gingerbread coffees and peppermint coffees, and I love them. I don't really have a favourite seasonal beverage that is alcoholic. It's normally coffee related. So yeah, seasonal coffees, awesome. Question or prompt number 7 is favorite shirt / piece of clothing. Usually ones that my wife makes me throw out because they've got holes in it. This is my favorite shirt at the moment. I like purple. I really do like the color purple. And I've got some old emerald green shirts that I've worn to death, to the point where I've bought the same shirt because I wore one to death. So probably those. But I feel like I wear the same 4 or 5 pieces of clothing regardless of the time of year. So yeah, I guess this shirt for the time being. Number 8 is a loaded prompt, and that is my favorite author. I don't think I have one favorite author, to be completely honest with you. Not since coming on this platform, not since watching this platform, and my reading tastes have just sort of blown apart. Favorite author per genre, maybe. But even then, there's just so many good answers out there. So I'm going to skip this question because I do not know. No one author really comes to mind. There are so many good authors out there with various strengths. Yeah, I would probably say over the last 12 to 18 months, Jenny Wirtz has become one of my favorite authors. If you're looking for a new name, I've got L.L. McRae is just an auto-buy author. At this point, I absolutely adore the work that she's put out. But yeah, there are just so many good authors that I can't pick a favorite. I don't have all my books in the back of the shelf. Oh, R.J. Barker, another auto-buy author. For me, I love The Tide Child so much, and I hope to like The Wounded Kingdom when we get to it. There's a couple of answers. Non-committal. Moving on. The next prompt is number 9, and it is favorite spot for reading/writing. I will read anywhere. I like to read in the lounge room if there's no dogs and other humans around, because I like to sit up when I read, because if I lie down when I read, I am inevitably going to fall asleep. It's a thing that happens. I think the shortest amount of time that I've read from like lying down was about 2.5 minutes before the book smacked me in the face because I'd fallen asleep. I like writing at my desk. I would like the desk to have the open window so I can see the greenery outside and have the fresh air coming in from the window, and I just, with a cup of coffee, perfect. I do like having a big writing desk that's clean. There's nothing else on it, so that I can concentrate on what I'm doing. But reading, definitely an armchair. I miss my armchair. It's in storage in Perth at the moment, and I cannot wait to get it back, even though my dog thinks that it is hers. Prompt number 10, favorite food/dessert. Oof. Favorite food. It'd be borderline sushi and something like lasagna, I guess. I could probably eat lasagna every day in my life and not get sick of it. I love it so much, but specifically my mother's lasagna. I've tried to make it. It's not the same. It's never the same when you try and make your parents' recipe. But lasagna and sushi, like if I'm going out to eat, I could probably eat sushi every day in my life. Favorite dessert would have to be something like an apple crumble. Big fan of baked apple. I don't like custard though, so a lot of people put custard with it. I would just eat it with ice cream. But yes, apple crumble, apple pie, something with a baked apple in it. Just a baked apple. I don't care. I like cooked apple. You've learnt too much about me today. Moving on to prompt 11. Favorite time of day. Definitely mornings. I am a morning person. I love the hours between 6 a.m. and about 8:30 in the morning. That is my time. That is the time that I block out for myself each day. I will be walking the dogs. I'll be going to the gym in that time, and then getting back at about 8:30, showering, getting ready for the day. I really appreciate that I have a later shift so that I can utilize that time that I love so much for myself and get my me time in right at the beginning of the day as soon as I wake up. But I just, especially in that springtime I was talking to you about earlier, when those days become so beautiful and crisp in the morning and it's delightful, getting out for a walk at that time of day just invigorates me and gets me going for that entire day. Prompt 12, favorite color would be green. I like emerald green, forest green, those darker, earthy green tones. I don't know what else to say about that, but that's my favorite color. 13, my 3 favorite YouTube channels. I don't have 3 favorite YouTube channels. I like them all for various reasons. I guess off the top of my head, number 1's going to be Roger from Roger's Reads. I talk to him all the time. I talk about him on this channel. Excuse me. All the time. He's been a very good friend to me on this platform, and I value that friendship so much. Probably Dom from Dominish Books would be another favorite booktube channel. I think what he does for the indie community and his vibes and his style is so wonderful. It's relaxed. He's always looking to shout out other people and lift people up, and that positivity is something that I really appreciate and I adore. And if I'm going for a third one, I would probably say Taylor, or Made Between the Pages, with Taylor at the front. Again, beautiful human on the end of that camera, very positive, always smiling, just wants to give positive vibes out into the world, has done some incredible work with page chewing and getting people onto that platform, and it's wonderful to see, and I genuinely enjoy watching all of their videos. Prompt number 14, not 4, there's a 1 in front of that, is favorite musical or play. Okay, I have a secret, I have a confession, I love musicals. Rachel hates them so much. When I was growing up, before my grandma passed last year, and when she was physically able to do so, I would take her to musicals or movies. She used to love going to the movies, and she loved music, she loved costumes, she loved dancing. So I grew up going to musicals with her and being the grandkid that would take her to musicals. So they have a very, soft spot in my heart. The two ones that I get nostalgia for and I will watch because they have film adaptations as well, as probably the Producers. That was the first one I ever went to when I was a wee squig when it came to Brisbane. Went with school, and I absolutely loved it, and then it's just very nostalgic for me. I still think it's brilliant. And also Chicago, I did not go to that one as a child. That was one I went to as an adult, but I watched the film adaptation first, thought that was brilliant, and I've since seen it a couple of times when it's been in town, and I really enjoy it. But yes, I do like a good musical. Prompt 15, and the last prompt on this tag, is favorite place I visited. That would hands down be San Francisco. I love San Francisco, and I initially thought I would love it because I loved Charmed so much when I was growing up, but it was just beautiful. The people are beautiful. I mean, a lot of them are high as hell, but they're very friendly. And the one thing I'll say about San Francisco is when I went, it was very fortunate. It was blue. We were on the bay. You go across the bridge and there's Sausalito, which is like this beautiful Italian town, which feels so authentic. Excuse me, to my ancestors, and I had such a good time there. I was only there for 4 days, and I would go back in a heartbeat. I don't have huge plans to travel back to the US. I did a 6-week stint there with my ex-partner, and we sort of hit a lot of the states. We did what's called a Kentucky tour, a bus tour, and we spent some time in New York. Did the Kentucky tour for 30 days, went to a lot of different states, saw little snippets of bits and pieces, and then we ended up in LA. We spent a couple of days in LA, went through to Anaheim, and then we ended up in San Francisco for a few days at the end there. And it is one place that I would like to go back. I would like to take Rachel and have those memories with her because it was beautiful. My heart is in San Francisco. Anyway, those were all the questions or all the prompts on the favorite things book tag. Thank you, Usman, for bringing this book tag to my attention. Let me know some of your favorite things down below in the comments if you would like to. If you like the content, give it one of those. If you want to see more of it, click subscribe at your will. I'll catch you in the next video. Ciao.